Judge mocks teenager in court, shocked to learn he's a genius. Attorney in disguise. Everyone in that courtroom thought this was just another case. A stolen car, a teenage suspect, an overworked public defender barely clinging to her notes. Nothing special. Thoughtful. Just another name on the docket. Another black teen about to be swallowed by a system designed to forget him. The judge looked bored. The prosecutor looked smug. The gallery waited for the inevitable. And then he spoke. Not like a scared defendant, not like a kid who'd been cornered, but like a man who knew exactly what he was doing. Impressed, like a lawyer, a good one. And just like that, everything changed. The judge stopped smiling. The prosecutor blinked. The gallery fell into dead silence. Because what they thought would be a routine conviction, determined, was about to become a masterclass in truth. Powerful. And the system? It wasn't ready for Jalen Dawson. The air inside the Los Angeles County Courthouse felt heavy. A quiet hum filled the room. Whispers, shuffling feet, creaking benches. At the defendant's table stood a young man, 19-year-old Jalen Dawson. He looked small next to the table, hands in his hoodie pockets, chin slightly raised, not with arrogance, but with intent. He wasn't here to beg. He was here to be heard. Judge Walter Grayson leaned back in his chair, fingers drumming against the polished desk, his eyes scanning the file, uninterested. Judge Dry, amused. Grand theft auto and resisting arrest. Let's make this quick. I've got a tea time at 2. The gallery chuckled. So did the bailiff. Even the stenographer smirked. But Jalen didn't flinch. He'd been preparing for this moment for years. Not this exact one, but one like it. Where justice wasn't handed to him, he had to carve it out. While other kids memorized sports stats, Jalen memorized court transcripts. While they played video games, he argued imaginary cases in his head. His mother, Denise Dawson, had been a paralegal for over 2 decades. He'd grown up on stories of lazy defense attorneys, prosecutors who played dirty, and judges who stopped caring. And today, he was standing inside one of those stories. Prosecutor Mitchell Carrington stood up. Tailored suit, glossy shoes, rehearsed smile. The state will prove, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the defendant was declarative. 'Twas caught in a stolen vehicle.
Forceful. An Audi A6. Reported missing hours earlier. Pursued by police. Apprehended while attempting to flee. Fingerprints on the steering wheel. Officer Ruiz witnessed it firsthand.
Gravitas. The words landed heavy. The jury nodded. The gallery, murmuring, whispered. Short pause. It looked like an open and shut case. Carrington strutted toward the jury, deliberate, pausing for dramatic effect. Prosecutor, mocking.
What kind of victim runs from the police?
Pause. Silence. The judge leaned on one elbow, already half bored.
Let's hear from the defense,
he muttered. Lisa Thornton, the public defender, rose from her chair, voice shaky.
Public defender nervous. Your Honor, my client. Trails
The
off.
woman gently touched her arm, a silent request. She blinked, then sat back down, and Jalen stepped forward.
Jalen, calm, steady. I'll be representing myself, Your Honor. The room froze. Judge, amused, surprised.
What?
Jalen, confident. I'm defending myself.
An audible murmur spread through the courtroom. Surprised murmurs. The bailiff raised his eyebrows. Carrington's smirk faltered for just a second. Then he let out a short laugh.
This should be interesting.
But no one was laughing when Jalen took his first real step forward, because the courtroom didn't know it yet. But they were about to witness a dismantling. Jalen let the silence settle, just long enough to make them uncomfortable. Then he turned to the prosecutor.
Jalen, slow, precise.
You said Officer Ruiz witnessed me behind the wheel. Carrington folded his arms. Prosecutor, impatient. That's correct. Jalen, nodding, thoughtful. And that's in his report? Prosecutor, it is. Jalen nodded, then turned to the judge. Jalen, firm. Your Honor, I move to dismiss that testimony. The judge blinked. Judge, questioning. On what grounds? Jalen pulled his hands from his pockets for the first time. Jalen, clear, confident. Because Officer Ruiz never saw me in the car. In fact, he wasn't even on duty when the pursuit began. His GPS records place him miles away. Confusion rippled through the room. Carrington's jaw twitched. Prosecutor, frustrated. What are you talking about? Jalen, calm, firm. I request the court subpoena those GPS logs. If Ruiz saw me, they'll match. If not, pause, letting it hang. Judge Grayson glanced at Carrington. The prosecutor hesitated. Too long. The jury noticed. The gallery noticed. Everyone noticed. Judge, questioning. Any objections?
Nervously.
Your Honor,
Calmly. No objections. Firmly. I'll be defending myself. The courtroom stills. A gasp here. A whisper there. Surprised.
You'll what?
Confidently. I'll be representing myself, Your Honor. Amused. This should be entertaining. Thoughtfully. Very well. The floor is yours, Mr. Dawson. Challenging. Let's see what you've got. Addressing the courtroom. The prosecution claims Officer Daniel Ruiz witnessed me behind the wheel of the stolen vehicle. That claim was central to their argument, correct? Reluctantly. Correct. Revealing. But Officer Ruiz wasn't even on duty when the chase began. Murmurs swell. Judge Grayson leans forward slightly. Formally. I respectfully request the officer's GPS data from that night. If he truly witnessed me during the pursuit, his location log will support that. If not, long pause. He lets the silence hang. Questioning. Can we verify that GPS data, counselor? After a pause. Reluctantly. No objections, Your Honor. To the jury. Next. Deliberately. Let's talk about those fingerprints. He walks slowly, confidently toward the jury box. Acknowledging. My prints were found on the steering wheel. That's true. Revealing. But here's what the prosecution didn't tell you. That car sat unlocked outside a 7-Eleven for hours. Beat. Explaining. I was there. With friends. I leaned on the car. I even opened the door. Casually. Curiosity, nothing more. He pauses, then makes eye contact with several jurors. Softer. Does touching something make you guilty of stealing it? Sharp. Let's take a moment and talk about that fingerprint analysis. The prosecution presented it as solid, indisputable evidence. Turns toward the judge. Questioning. Was the forensic analyst who processed that evidence subpoenaed to testify, Your Honor? To Carrington. Counselor? Reluctantly. No, Your Honor. Pause. Grayson exhales audibly. To the jury. Then who do I cross-examine? Who do I ask about the chain of custody? About contamination? About whether those fingerprints were partial, smudged, or clean? Beat. Quiet courtroom. Emphatically. They want you to trust science. Without the scientist. Firmly. And then there's this. He holds up a police report. Assertively. This is a sworn statement from Mr. Raymond Whitaker, the man who owns the Audi. It's in the original report. But the prosecution didn't bring it up. Carrington's jaw clenches. He knows what's coming. Jalen left the car running, ran inside the gas station. Saw a white male jump in and drive off, not the guy they arrested. Gasps. Audible reactions from the gallery. A juror leans forward. Jalen firmly. I'm not white. Dead silence. Carrington, defensive. Your Honor, the defendant was caught near the abandoned vehicle, on foot. Jalen, calmly. Correct. Walking home with snacks from the same 7-Eleven. The car was blocks away. I wasn't in it. I wasn't fleeing. I wasn't even aware it had been stolen. He turns again to the jury. Jalen, bitterly. Officers found a black kid nearby and decided that was close enough. Beat. Jalen, softly, emotional. But what happens when close enough ruins someone's future? Jalen, thoughtfully. This case isn't about guilt. It's about assumptions, about shortcuts, about a system too eager to close a file and not interested in the truth. He stops, faces the jury. Jalen, gravely. If we allow that kind of thinking to win, then none of us are safe. Long pause. Even Carrington stays quiet now. Judge Grayson, wearily. This case was supposed to be routine, he sighs. Judge Grayson, reflectively. But I see now it was anything but. He glances at Carrington, then at Jalen, and finally at the jury. Judge Grayson, clear, final. Case dismissed. Beat. Silence. Then a quiet eruption of whispers, gasps, emotions releasing like steam from a pressure cooker. Jalen stands still, just breathes, then slowly turns to walk out. Judge Grayson, quietly. Mr. Dawson. Jalen stops. Judge Grayson, sincerely. You should consider law school. Jalen smirks slightly. Jalen wittily. I already have. Narration. Slow. Reflective. Jalen didn't just win a case. He exposed something deeper, something broken. How many other names were buried by assumptions? How many other lives silenced by shortcuts? Justice isn't about who speaks loudest. It's about who's heard. If this story moved you, share it. Because next time, the person on trial might be someone you know. Subscribe for more stories that matter. Stories that make us look inward, that make the system think twice.